So today I recorded this look for you using the Modern Renaissance palette by Anastasia Beverly Hills. If you haven't seen it yet, this is what it looks like. I'm sure you've seen it though. It totally screams my name, has all the colors in it, are absolutely positively gorgeous. Norvina really stepped up her game with this palette because the shadows in this palette are phenomenal. The pigmentation is on point. The blendability is amazing. There's mostly matte shadows in the palette, which matte's not what I usually prefer to work with a lot. I'm really like into shimmer, but the matte shadows in this palette are just so gorgeous and so easy to work with that I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. I am obsessed. So if you guys want to see how I got this look, go ahead and keep on watching. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Hang around. I'm in it to win it this time. I know I said that last time, but YouTube's going to be my thing. And I'm going to try to put out those 2 videos a week for you guys. So hit subscribe so you don't miss any of my future videos. Give it a thumbs up if you like this look. And let's get started. Hey now, hey now. Ooh. Let's go. So to start off this tutorial, we're going to go in with our Urban Decay Primer Potion in Original. We're going to dab that on using the brush or dofa applicator that's inside and blend that out with our finger. After that, we're going to use Beaches and Cream by Makeup Geek to set down that primer. Setting your primer with a flesh toned shadow will make it easier to blend whatever shadows you put on top of that. So this step is very important. After that, I'm going to go in with Benefit Highbrow Glow to further highlight my brow bone. I feel that putting a cream highlight, whether it's on your brow bone or your cheek, really just helps to make that shadow that you put on top of it pop even more. And so after that, I'm going to go through with Vermeer from the Modern Renaissance palette on a Sigma E30 pencil brush and just add a little bit more shine. After that, I'm going in with Burnt Orange from the Anastasia palette on a Sigma E40, and I'm going to dust that throughout my entire crease from the bottom to the top to just add a little bit of warmth to that crease. After that, I'm going to go in with Real Gar on a Morphe M433, which if you do watch YouTube, you've probably heard that this brush is a dupe for the MAC 217, and I can completely agree with that. The MAC 217 is one of my favorite precision blending brushes for the crease, and mine is always extremely dirty, so I tested this one out and I loved the way it worked. So I'm just going to blend that Real Gar through the entire crease from the top to bottom, not going as high with it as I did with Burnt Orange. After that, I'm going to use a e.l.f. packing brush to put red ochre over my entire lid using a packing motion. After that, I went through with that same M433 by Morphe to make sure that there was no harsh lines between red ochre and burnt orange. After that, I'm using one of my favorite Colourpop Super Shock shadows in the shade Lovely. I'm using my finger to place that all over my entire lid. I found that these shadows apply best when using your finger, especially the shimmer shades. So that's how I choose to apply them. And after putting that all over the lid, I just went back with that M433 to further blend and make sure again that there were no harsh lines. After applying the shimmer, I went in with my Sigma E45 and the shade Cypress Umber from the palette to kind of deepen up the outer V of my eye. I'm using very short windshield wiper motions and letting the tapered brush do the work for me. After that, I went through and curled my lashes and used 2 coats of the L'Oreal Voluminous Carbon Black Mascara. No falsies today, so that is the finished eye look. Next, we're going to go in with the Tarte Clean Slate Primer, And if you watched my favorites video, you know that this has become one of my favorite primer foundation combinations. So I just grab a good dollop of that primer and spread it over all of my face, focusing mainly where the pores are. And then after that, I was obviously very happy, so I decided to have a dance party. Not to mention it was Nicki Minaj playing, and if you know me, you know I love Nicki Minaj. Next, I'm going to go through with a Vasanti primer or painting brush. It's basically a paintbrush made by Vasanti, and I'm just going to paint my face with the Double Duty foundation that I mentioned in my favorites video by Tarte. Just going to add the good majority on my cheeks, and then a light bit of coverage on my forehead, nose, and chin. Using my Real Techniques complexion sponge, I'm just going to pat that out and beat the face, spreading the foundation across all of my face. As you can see, it does have pretty good amount of coverage. I didn't do any kind of color correcting for my acne redness, and it does get the good majority of it covered with only one light layer. I do go back through as per usual and add another layer on my acne, but I really do like the coverage this foundation offers. Next, I'm going to go through and conceal and highlight using my Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer, and I concealed using light neutral and highlighted using fair neutral. I found that using light neutral over all of my skin or highlighting areas doesn't really highlight my face too much. So I used that to conceal under my eyes, and then I got fair neutral to actually brighten up my under eyes and highlight the center of my face. So I went through and blended that out and set it using my Spun translucent setting powder. I do one eye at a time to make sure that the concealer doesn't have a chance to crease before I'm able to set it with my powder. So I'm just dabbing it out and then setting it with that powder. After that, I'm going to go in with my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in the shade Medium. And I prefer to use this foundation down my neck because I do have a gnarly wrinkle in my neck, and if I don't use a powder, I generally end up finding foundation in the crease. As you can see, I have a nice double chin there. After that, I'm going to go through and use my NYX HD blush in the shade Taupe to contour my cheekbones using a Real Techniques contour brush. After laying down that contour, I'm going to go through and warm up the rest of my face using my TooFaced Chocolate Soleil bronzer and a Morphe M527 to add that E shape to my temples of my foreheads, blend out my contour, and attempt to slim down my double chin. After that, I'm going to go through with my Becca Jaclyn Hill Face palette, which I also mentioned in my favorites. I'm going to use the blush Amaretto, which is my favorite blush out of the palette. I just think the color is so pretty. It doesn't look the same on my cheeks as it does in the pan, but I still think the color is just absolutely phenomenal. So I'm using an E4 by Morphe to apply that to my cheekbones or the apples of my cheeks. After blush, I'm going to go through with a Morphe M501 and the highlight in the palette called Prosecco Pop, and I'm just going to add that sun-kissed glow to my cheekbones and above my brow. I'm going to go through with that Real Technique sponge and just blend that out to make sure that it all meshes well. For the lips, I used the Tarte Cosmetics Lippie Lingerie in the shade Exposed and set my face with some Max Fix Plus, and that is the finished look. I hope you guys liked it, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye, guys.